walk a straight lace, wind the road, can I shoulder this heavy load? Though I try to hold it in, I'll be just fine.
Hey guys, this is Kai with week 22 for ItsAMansWorldFTM1. Now, week 22 is a free topic week, which means I get to talk about anything I want. And I've been thinking about that since quite a lot actually, not sleeping at night in order to think about it. And my original intention was to talk about faith, beliefs, and their value. Talking about, whether beliefs are fundamentally beneficial, particularly when it comes to things like religion and faith. I wasn't going to talk openly about my personal beliefs or things like that, but I was going to talk about the idea of faith and belief, and hopefully start some sort of open discussion about it in a good setting. I don't know if YouTube is the right place for that. And not only that, but things have happened since that have made me rethink the topic. I was thinking about talking concerning manhood, manning up. And you hear that a lot. Oh, don't be such a pussy, man up. Just deal with what you're under and handle your situation, usually with an implication of strength and being stoic and so on. But how do you handle your limits? What is the best way to overcome your limitations? My parents and my family in particular have told me that since I am of a particular age, if I go through with this, I will be expected to man up. That only women are allowed to have certain privileges or benefits, or are allowed to live under particular circumstances. I'm 31. I live at home. I don't pay rent. Apparently, if I become a man, that is no longer applicable. My brother is 24, and he's an educator, and he pays rent. And for paying rent, they do his laundry. I, on the other hand, do my own laundry, but I don't pay rent. But I'm not allowed the same privileges as my sister, who works very, very part-time, doesn't pay rent, but provides other assets to the family. For a long time, I was the cook here. I cooked for the family at dinner time and things like that. And then as my life became more complicated and I had to take on more responsibilities, the idea that I was not being fruitful to the family or cooperating or whatever became more of an issue. So I'm expected to pay my way, support myself, and so on. But I'm working under certain physical limitations that in some cases might make me become considered deviant. I'm overweight. Technically, it's my fault, up to a point. And after that, it stopped being my fault that I'm overweight. But my weight creates, in my lifestyle, limitations in what my body is capable of doing physically. I'm not physically incapable of, say, moving heavy objects, picking up heavy objects. But I am limited in my ability to stand for 10 hours a day. When you carry as much weight as I do on a daily basis, your joints are physically incapable of holding your weight for too long. I had a 10-hour shift yesterday where I stood for 9 of those hours and walked around and so on. And I had maybe 15 minutes in those 9 hours of sitting down. I had a 12-hour shift today, in which I was supposed to go to a full shift of work and then attend a store meeting. I can't walk. Today, I am hobbling. I am physically incapable of doing my job 40 hours a week without sitting. I can't. And up to a point, it's my fault. When I was younger, I was being emotionally and psychologically abused by my relatives, and I felt no love or compassion from any of them. This caused me to seek love elsewhere. For some people, this might be substance abuse or sexual abuse. I don't mean that as in they became rapists, but maybe they become nymphomaniacs as a way of taking their mind off the fact that their life sucks. For me, food became a vehicle via which I felt full of something. Maybe not love, but it was an ample substitute for the fact that I felt unloved in my life. Food allowed me to feel something akin to fullness of love, and it came to a point where, regardless of my eating habits, I gained weight. My family has a predisposition towards endocrine deficiencies, where we just have no metabolism. I have a negative metabolism. I eat nothing, I gain weight. And it could also be hormonal. My hormone system is imbalanced and completely out of control, and therefore I gain weight. So up to a point, yes, I became fat due to my own volition, but after that point, it became medically impossible for me to lose weight without intervention, which involved the care of a medical practitioner, medical prescriptions, and an extremely conservative diet. Problem: I lost health care, and the medical intervention stopped. And lo and behold, several years between that medical intervention and today, I got fatter. And my ability to lose weight has decreased exponentially since those years ago. So my weight is out of my control right now, and there's very little that I can do to lose it. Dieting doesn't really help. I am physically incapable of exercise because my body is weakened and unable to bear my weight during extreme circumstances, such as exercise, the kind of exercise that it would require in order for me to lose the weight. There are surgical interventions that could take place that would help me, such as a gastric bypass, which is dangerous. And I've personally had friends who have had internal bleeding and have been hospitalized for months in order to overcome the strife. So physically, I've never been the strongest. I have been able to move and carry heavy things, but physical activity has never been something that has been an everyday part of my life. In high school, I participated in group sports such as basketball during PE. I was a pinch hitter for my softball team because I hit like Babe Ruth, but I don't run bases. So I would hit the ball and somebody else would do the running for me. They were like pinch runners. Since physical activity is not something that comes native to me, and I'm an introvert who doesn't enjoy the outdoors, I never did a lot of exercise to begin with. So the amount of exercise that would be required of me is something that I'm not used to, have never really experienced, and I'm physically incapable of doing. So when it comes to manning up, my options for work that I can do full-time in order to support myself is limited. But you must also consider that I'm still in school. I haven't graduated. I still have a year and a half if I move at a fairly rapid pace. And when you're working full-time at a job that is grueling, cruel, inhuman, dehumanizes you, and requires you to move at a ridiculous pace, my chances for success are nil. So manning up would involve me dealing with ridiculous amounts of physical pain, as well as mental exhaustion. Yesterday, while I was working, I did something I never thought I would ever be able to do. I pushed my brain to the point that I was physically incapable of reading, speaking, or writing. That doesn't sound like such a bad thing, the last couple hours of a shift. But my entire job depends on my ability to diagnose a problem, be able to verbalize that problem, create logical connections between many different things, which I also have to then input into text, and be able to carry conversations with people in order to make the process work from A to B, from A to Z, from the beginning to the end. I fucked up, tragically. And in my desire, because I cannot help it, to be kind to people and to facilitate their ability to progress with their technology, I ruined someone's day and was physically incapable of walking to them and fixing it. And by the time I was able to manage outside, hobbling, with my knees about to give out, they had left. That was an emotional anguish, because I messed up. I overworked myself. And the fact that I literally could not talk or think or write has to be one of the scariest things I've undergone. And I have been homeless I have done a lot of things that have been really scary. But I never thought that my mind, which to me has always seemed limitless in its capability of carrying things out, of thinking, just shut down. I was so exhausted, I could not think. And that's my strength. And that terrifies me. But I am limited in what I'm able to do because of my body. And in the career that I have now, I don't think I have a chance to survive. And I could mean that quite literally. I may die doing this job. And it's not the first time this has happened. I almost died in 97 or something because I overworked myself. My work ethic is so strong that it overrides all of my baser instincts, such as laziness. And my desire to help people is so strong that I push myself to breaking points. Enough that they could actually break me. So what is manning up? And how does that pertain to me? I want to be an educator. That's what I want to do in life. I want to motivate others. I want to make them utilize their talents. I want to inspire. I want to share my enthusiasm for knowledge, for things, for words, for humor. And there's a few vehicles which I can choose to do so. But all of them also require a degree, or several. And since I have to man up and support myself, and I'm alone, the idea seems impossible. How am I supposed to have a full-time job that is back and leg breaking, that leaves me incapable of thinking, of speaking, of being cognitive, of verbalizing at the same time? I can choose to go to school, take out lots of loans, and just focus on that, and chain myself to banks for 10 years maybe in order to pay them off. I can quit school and give up all my loftier goals of inspiring others to live a mediocre, painful existence, doing a job that I have a passion for, but the inability to fully physically commit to it because it would kill me. My other options are go part-time on both, but then I cannot support myself. And the moment I take tea, my life is going to change, particularly when it relates to my family and whatever support they would be offering me. Likely none. So how do I justify the two? Do I have any other options? Probably. I could change careers, but I'm underqualified for most of the careers that would in any way inspire my passion, that would in any way utilize my focus and my drive. I could do an even shittier job. I'd be paid less. I wouldn't have trans benefits. But if I stay in the job I have now, I keep the trans benefits, but I might die too soon to enjoy them. So what would be considered matting up in my case? Should I just deal with the pain? Go beyond the limits of my body? But going beyond the limits of my body might end up killing me. I look strong on the outside. I talk strong. I think strong. But my body is weak. It always has been. I used to never get sick, but now I get sick constantly. I don't handle stress well. Is manning up moving past that stress? Because moving past that stress for me doesn't seem possible. At least not on estrogen. And what if hormones, if I start taking tea, has no positive effect in that regard? Some people claim they get more energy, but some people claim they get more tired. I already tire very easily. So what if I get more tired instead of energized? What if, sure, I don't feel flighty emotional sadness all the time, but then I end up feeling rage, which is a natural response for me already. So what if I get angrier, which makes my life harder? My family is trying to accept me. They try to call me Kai. They try to use male pronouns. But what if I start taking tea and it's too much for them and they cease to be part of my life? Could I handle that? Maybe. Would manning up be simply dealing with it, regardless of the consequences? I want to get my degree. If I had a choice, any choice, I would just go to school. That's what I would do. But I wouldn't go to school the way I'm going to school now. Because I'm going to school to night school right now. It's a bunch of dropouts. A bunch of people a lot less smart than me. I think the word would be dumber, but I feel bad saying that. They're just not as intelligent. And there's nothing wrong with that. But they don't help me feel challenged. They don't help me think. And when I do try to create dialogue where I'm rational and not judgmental, they are incapable of moving beyond their judgment. And that makes me angry. And then I'm unable to finish a course because I'm too violently upset by the idiocy of the people that surround me. I would like to be surrounded by smart people who will challenge me, who will challenge my brain, which is my strongest muscle, to be even stronger. But it's not a possibility when you work full-time to attend a physical college. So I'm stuck in online school, which is full of idiots, including teachers, which does not promote conversation, only judgment, and in which it's impossible to learn anything because no one who is going there or teaching there, I should say very few people who are going there or teaching there, have the ability to think beyond their shoelaces. I'm stuck. I've mentioned this before. Because I can't see the benefits of any of these options. I could kill myself, I could surround myself with idiots, or I could just give up and just survive. But I've always been someone who believes that you should live and not survive, so that depresses me. And depression is an enemy. It makes it impossible for you to do anything. At least none of the things that you like. Or nothing beyond the things that you like. And the things that you like can be destructive if that's all you do. I hate the idea of seeming useless. But my situation makes me feel useless every day. I love my job. Not my job. I love my company. But my job is killing me. And I don't know what to do. I could quit. I've done it before. I could just go to school full-time and nothing else. I would have to take out a lot of loans to make that happen. And I don't know if that's the right choice. And I'm 30. And everyone expects me to support myself. But I can't support myself on loans. I have nothing to my name except a car. And I don't know what to do. And I don't think manning yourself is being stupid. I don't think that if you have multiple sclerosis, manning up means forcing yourself out of a chair. I think, yes, it's cool that there are athletes with no legs who still run marathons. But I'm not them. If I could find a sugar daddy, all these problems would go away, but I'd feel useless being dependent on another person. So I don't know what manning up means, at least not in my situation. I can be strong in some ways, but I'm weak in others. I'm a human being. I'm imperfect. And my physical body, though originally my fault, is really out of my hands right now. And it plays against me, but I should play to my strengths, not to my weaknesses. I should get a job where my mind is my primary resource, not my body. But I'm not qualified for a lot of those jobs, so what do I do? Anyway, this video is running on way too long. Anyway, sorry this video is late. Thanks for watching. Please comment down below. Tell me what you think. It doesn't have to be relevant to me, but just the topic. You guys have a nice week. Kai out.